Sophie Holt and I run Pigment Organic Dyes, and we're in south of Devon, between Buckfastleigh and Ashburton on Badderford Farm, part of the Badderford Collective. And I grow natural dye plants organically and also support adults with learning disabilities into training and employment. I've always kind of touched the world of textiles and art therapy. I did an upholstery course back in 2018. So I was a self-employed upholsterer for a few years after that and taught it at various care farms, so supporting adults with learning disabilities in a farm setting, but teaching them horticulture and upholstery. So I would recover chairs like this with groups of individuals. And after having my daughter, discovered the world of natural dyes and was already working on organic farming and realised there wasn't a UK grower of them and no organic growing of them either. So that's kind of what I decided to do as a sort of social enterprise model, to grow organic dyes alongside supporting people. I didn't have a grant per se to do that. Once I established myself here at Badderford Farm, I did get support through Unlimited, which is a social enterprise funder, and they support individuals to set social projects up. So they help me stock up the office studio space that I have, and they also help me buy a second-hand polytunnel to sort of equip people with what they need when they're here. I think just having a love for fabrics and discovering the link between my other love, which was plants, from learning horticulture and practicing that with working in organic farming and kind of learning about plants, and then the kind of alchemy of plants connecting to fabric and learning about how our clothing actually comes from the land, and connecting that all up again in my mind was what won me over, I suppose, and I wanted to be part of that now resurging industry, which is growing. I think even within this farm, people kind of wonder what I'm doing. It's not as recognised as food farming is, yet we all wear clothes. We've all got colours in our clothes, and I think people just kind of, even grower friends of mine have been really confused about my business model and how that is important. And it's really getting people to think about what clothes they're wearing. Where have they come from? Do you just think that they're just magically appearing, and a lot of them are being made in unethical ways and from petrochemicals and polluting our environment. And the more we've had to kind of retrain people to think about organic farming for food, but it's kind of now becoming a bigger conversation with movements like the Fibre Shed organisation that started in the States and is now coming across to the UK, and that's linking farmers and designers and knitters and growers all up to kind of talk about clothing in a different way, and again link it back to the land. So I think it's not getting enough, but it's building. I think it will come. It's just having more conversations. A lot of it is a social aim. That's kind of why I set up the business. It's to have people that don't have access to these kind of vocations. So farming is, not always the thing that's promoted at school for young adults, and also for people with learning disabilities. It's not often an option for them to kind of get involved with. And my dream is to have this kind of space accessible for all, and for it to be like a training space and access to work experience, to allow people to feel more included into different parts of society. But in the meantime, going hand in hand with that, to probably not be a large-scale supplier of natural dyes for the mainstream textile market in the UK, because that means going field scale and it being less therapeutic, which is what I'm about. I kind of want to stay at this half-acre scale and it be a market garden kind of environment for people when they come. But I do want to be part of the bigger conversation and to make sure that natural dyes are understood as growers pop up across the country of growing natural dyes, which is already happening, there's one that's just popped up in Pembrokeshire actually, we can kind of pool our harvests to then allow it to get to a larger scale processes in the market. Being part of that and making sure that it kind of gets to a stage where designers are able to understand the seasons, be able to access the dyes that they need and the fibres that they need within the UK, and to have this kind of pooling of regions, have bioregional dye farms and have a pooling of resources within that, I think would be great to be part of that conversation. I think it needs, again, like, you know, bigger governmental support to like kind of ensure that the industry within the UK is created again, and therefore the market will be created much easier for people to access those natural dyes. I think, again, it's that middle scale processing stage where we need bigger dye studios that are able to do like 100-metre runs rather than 10-metre runs, which is what I can do here, and then the harvests can be pooled. I'm going to be doing a couple of public facing workshops each year, but mainly I'm focusing on supporting people within the learning disabled community or additional needs. But you can go on www.pigment.org.uk to get any dyes from our shop, all organically, and the range is going to be sort of growing. There'll be kind of added value products coming up, which will be the outcome of the social projects that I'm running. So people will be involved in, for example, upholstering a chair like this, or making some cushions that are all naturally dyed. So that's kind of all coming in the pipeline.